Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Conan on King difficulty. This is my video guide and walkthrough for this particular game on its hardest difficulty setting, and I'm trying to walk you guys through this game. And we're now on mission 7, and it's entitled Midnight Raid. So when you come down here, and you're probably going to be down here, because if you come down here, it means you're either trying to get the first red rune triumvirate and or getting the chest down here for the experience orbs that it has. And you're probably going to fall because the jumping is horrible over here. See this? From there to there, that's a boss fight to get that to work. Just to jump from ledge to ledge. When I first did my playthrough on hard difficulty, this should also enhance, extend our rage meter a little bit over to the right. When I was going through the game initially, I had to go onto YouTube and watch a playthrough of somebody just jumping from ledge to ledge because the game was just so stubborn about working. It just did not work. I could not get the character to jump from ledge to ledge. And I was thinking to myself, am I even meant to do this? Can he even jump from ledge to ledge? I was on there for at least 10 or 15 minutes, continually falling there. He wouldn't grab onto the ledge. He also doesn't really grab onto the first, that platforming section where you're tapping circle when you're jumping just to get to the other ledge. It's really weird, but when you come on in here to this zone, make sure you immediately go over to that safe stone if you want to, and that is going to be something that you can return to if you want to, and you can literally kill one enemy and go to the safe stone. Kill one enemy, go to the safe stone. Kill another enemy, go to the safe stone. Like, you can kill one enemy and keep going back to the safe stone if you want to exploit it. So I'm just telling you what the game lets you do. I like that actually because it gives the player a lot of control and flexibility. It does kind of promote cheapness and cowardice in my opinion a little bit, but I mean, do whatever you have to because the loading screens, they're intolerable. They're so bad. I can't stand them. I mean, it's so fucking horrible. And the game is installed on an SSD. This game is on an SSD, so I mean, I know it wasn't designed for that. I know, but I mean, an SSD fits in there. So I mean, didn't they think that people might want to do that? I don't know. But anyway, so on this pretty short but sweet level, there is no boss fight yet. But anyway, what I was going to say was that I had to look on a playthrough of just how to jump, and I saw some guy just jump, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess he can kind of fucking jump up there, man. That's all I was asking. Because I thought maybe you had to go in another direction or somewhere else. Fucking man, it's shit, man. This fucking shit game is what it is, man. But this chapter is pretty good. And don't take my words too literally. I'm really having fun playing this game. It's just those, the essential things that this game sometimes can't even have happen. It's just fucking ridiculous. Anyway, so I'm going to be getting a few moves for the two-handed weapon stance. One of them is the triangle, square, triangle move, which has a bit of a setup to it, and I think I'm trying to buffer it right now, and it's hard to work with a two-handed weapon against these guys. Here, see, it does, I did a gem cutter there. It's hard to do, it's hard to even hit with fast attacks on these guys sometimes because they're so quick to attack. They're really quick. So did you see what that guy just did? He cast out a green sort of a mist. It's not that. That's some other kind of a projectile, which you can block, by the way. But starting on this level, because we see these guys, I think we started to see these guys in chapter 4, right? When we got to the desert. I'm also going to be getting the Stygian Skewer, which I love that name, but it's the square triangle move. But I don't have it quite yet. But what I was going to say is I don't think these guys, when we first met them in Chapter 4, I don't think that they had that projectile, that mist spray, because I did not ever see that when I was in the desert. So it looks like these guys start to be able to have that move on this chapter. So what it does is it completely changes your axes. So left is right and right is left and up is down and down is up. So it's really annoying how that happens. It's only while you're dazed for a few seconds, but it completely it forces you to deal with screwed up axes on your left analog stick. So it also, like, sometimes will make you jump when you just press square, and that's not the jump button. Jump is X. So it just kind of screws with you for a few seconds, and it's something that's a really old game trope, but like it's from like the Sega Genesis era. It's so old of a trope, but it's definitely something that you have to deal with in this game versus those guys. So here's the I think you have to go here first. Yeah, I don't think you can go to the left, but this looks like that port that was in God of War Ascension. What was that called? Like, I don't know, but it really reminds me, like the harbor of Kira or something like that. There's a starlet over here, by the way. Maybe that's what I'll call them, because that seems kind of like what they would be. But we're going to be dealing with a heavy on this chapter that they're not fun to fight whatsoever. I mean, you can make heavies that are fun to fight, but this game, it just doesn't have that sort of a nicety to it. It's horrible. On these guys, actually, you can just press square, square, square. That will knock them down, and then you can execute. That's a really good way to deal with these guys. And I mean square, square, square with a two-handed weapon. I don't think it works with the one-handed weapon. And I believe we are at some point we're going to be fighting a sea monster. I think that's in the next chapter though. So these are archers, and these ones do cower. See how he cowered? So that means you can grab them definitely. And what you're going to do on this chapter is you're going to sink 2 ships, and this is the first one of the 2 ships. And what that means is that you've got to burn up the flammable objects with these torches. And there are 3 areas where you can burn flammable objects. On this first ship, I only burned up 2 of the 3 object sites, and then it got the cutscene. And then on the second ship, I did have to burn all 3 flammable objects. So I believe that's how it works. Just burn 2 of 3 on the first one, and then 3 of 3 on the second one. And down here there aren't any enemies, but on the next ship there's going to be enemies down in this sort of a lower deck area. And we have another magic too. See that? It's sort of a rain of fire and meteors that costs you 2 magic squares. It's not that good, honestly. Some of the combos that you can do, with the magics, you can actually do a combo where there is the cutscene edited out there. So if you see a really jerky transition, that's what it was. You can petrify a lot of guys. Once we at least get, I guess we could do it. We could do it with 3 squares. So you can expend 1 square to stone, like petrify several enemies if you can get that to work. Sometimes you could like get at least like 3 or 4 guys petrified, and then you can use the meteor shower to kill everybody that way. That will cost you 3 squares though. And the next, okay, so the heavy is going to come out when you approach the next barred door. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill these weaklings first, and then save my progress, and then focus on the heavy. I thought to myself, I'm just going to kill the lesser guys first, and then when the heavy comes out, I can save my progress before that, and then I can work on him a little bit and try to practice him and give you guys some advice and some tactics. But all he does is block. Like, that's all they do. It's so difficult, and I know this game is based on a block breaking system where you've got to break their guard. Save your progress here, by the way, and then just stand back here though. Don't approach the door that's up and to the left. And also try not to take too much damage here. I mean, it's not going to matter that much, honestly. I mean, as long as you've got some pretty good magic. So you see how going out of your way on the last chapter to get that magic upgrade allows us the luxury of having 3 magic squares as opposed to 2. So we would only have, I believe, would have 2 at this point. So anyway, you're going to save your progress here, then approach the door, then the heavy comes out. So I'm going to pull an Indiana Jones here and just instantly murder this guy without any fuss. And he takes 6 hits with the triangle button. So that actually makes stone shattering this guy is pretty tense when there's a bunch of enemies who can potentially interrupt you when you're trying to do that. But once that's finished, get the magic and open the door. You can't go back and save it now because if you go to the save stone, this door falls, so you can't like save your progress that you've pulled that lever every time. But when you come up here, you'll have a bunch more of these guys coming out. I think just 4, and I'm trying to work on my mastery for the King's Execution. I actually had to cancel out of the King's Execution there because this guy was going to hit me, and then it actually perfectly lined up to get a parry there. So you can cancel out of it, and that's what I did there. And then once you come in here, there is some linked footage over here. So torch that hut there. There's going to be heavy over here with some lesser enemies. I believe I petrified, I think, everybody who was out here. Let's see if we can get that to work. Yeah, got all 4 people. That's uncommon. That usually doesn't happen. But at least get that guy out of your way. So when I got the parry for the heavy, it wouldn't give me the quick time event and allow me to riposte. So what they do is they forbid you to parry the heavy, and I'm pretty sure that that's how it is. I just don't think you can parry the heavy. Maybe when you weaken him a little bit, but since I can petrify them, it's not really a violation of honor or anything. I don't care about being honorable. I'm gonna do what I can do. So here's the second ship. There is a starlet at the end of the at the pier here. Is it called a pier? There's a bunch of stuff to throw over here, and 2 health jugs at the end. So I thought that the boss, the sea monster, was at the end of this chapter. I think it's in the next chapter though. So I had success dual wielding on. Yeah, look what he did. So I'm just trying to allow the effects of that daze to wear off because it's really hard to instantly try to deal with axes that have been inverted on you, like both horizontally and vertically, as well as you're trying to hit while you're dazed and you're pressing square, which is the slow but fast attack, and then he jumps because you're dazed, obviously. And it's screwing with your controls. But here's the starlet. Did we already rescue her? Or is she over there? I think she's waiting to get rescued. So what I was going to say though about the sea monster is, since I thought he was at the end of this chapter, I was always trying to make sure that I had my my dual weapon stance intact. But maybe that will actually carry over to the next chapter. I'm not sure. They usually steal your weapon and just give you dog shit, because this game is dog shit. But I'm just kidding. Like, I'm serious and I'm not serious at the same time. I'm having fun, and isn't that the point of a game, to have fun? I'm having fun, so it's doing what it needs to do as far as giving me like pleasure and enjoyment and allowing me to have fucking fun. I'm having fucking fun. Not now, obviously, when I'm getting thrashed here, you motherfuckers. So I decided to cast that, and didn't we get like 5 guys? 2, 4, 5, 6 guys? Wow. We stone shattered everybody. That was pretty good. But now we don't have any magic. We have to have at least 1 bar to use the stone prison armor. Okay, so same thing applies here, except that you've got to torch the 3 flammable objects rather than 2 of the 3 this time. I had quite a bit of trouble getting the torch to light on the flammable objects here, so just bear with me as we try to deal with this game's kind of broken mechanics. But it's do you know how much I paid for this game too, by the way? $60. 60 fucking dollars. Now admit I wanted this game like instantly because I paid $9 for the shipping, and only it was like 50. It was like 50 something dollars to buy this game on the PS3. I don't think you can buy it digitally. You may be able to, but I like physical copies these days. But yeah, I bought it for 50 fucking dollars on Amazon.com. Not through any private seller, I don't think, but just through Amazon. It could have been through some private seller who had Amazon ship it. They have that sort of a thing. But they checkpointed it there, and I think that is the last checkpoint of the stage. Now you might say, dude, $50 for this piece of trash that is worth about $5 when you really think about it. Like, so long after the game came out. $5 might be pushing it. It might be worth $2, but dude, you paid $50 goddamned dollars for this piece of fucking dog shit? And the answer is, yeah, I did. Do you like throwing your money away, Dick Benedict? Not really. No, I don't like throwing my money down the toilet or throwing it in the trash, however you want to think about it. By the way, I couldn't resist the temptation to get this health over here. But no, I'm also not going to do this fight. So if at the end of the video guide series you say, well, you did every fight except this one, so you didn't really beat King difficulty, I might actually have to think about that and think maybe that is true, actually, because I said I was going to do every fight, didn't I? But yeah, $50 plus $9 for shipping. How do I justify that, honestly? I thought that I would be sending this game back within a couple of days of getting it. And I do have until I think the 31st to return it. So what I'm going to do, actually, because this game did come with the little mechanism inside, like the centermost hole, damaged. And it was actually scraped a little bit. So there was something. Was it that or... Oh, I know what it was. No, it wasn't that. That was some other game that I got. But what happened was... I said I want this game new. I don't buy used games at all. Like, when I buy a game, I want to open the package and have a brand new game that smells and feels new. I don't buy used stuff. It's just, I can't do it. So I said new, man, not opened, like not new sort of other, like where it is new and it's not. I want to have the plastic on the outside and I want to open it. And they actually, it was new, but it was like, it was open already. Like, it was tainted, so I couldn't have it. So I'm going to actually say that it's not new because it doesn't have the plastic on it. Fuck you, asshole. I want a new disc.